thank you for being part of our Zainey fam. Today we are talking about Instagram. This is part 3. Yep. Part 3 is going to be all about how you can make your content just a little bit better. As we covered in the last one, it's really coming down to what your content is that's going to increase your reach on Instagram. And when you increase your reach, you're going to increase your interactivity, and that's just going to get you more of what you want. Before we start, make sure you don't miss any of our interactive opportunities like liking, subscribing, and sharing. Sharing is caring.
It is. I was just going to say that.
Yes. Follow us on social media. You'll see some of that information down below. And if you're a content creator, join us on the Geeks and Beauties community on Facebook. Don't forget to comment. This is also how we interact with each other. We, you talk to us, we talk to you, we talk back.
And we take your feedback and see what it is. We are just kind of starting right now to wind down social media, and honestly these videos are not as popular as we thought they were going to be, and we really are about helping people, and we've been kind of doing what you guys have asked as far as questions. However, we're going to kind of go in a little different direction now, and we're going to start a new series starting next week called Mind Over Makeup, which is kind of like the history of makeup, but also how makeup is used maybe for different sexes, different time periods in different ways, and in like maybe those time periods why we used it a different way and how we use it today and how it might be a little bit different. So it's like a lot of different things all together, but it's kind of like
it's history, sociology, and science
all together
with makeup.
With makeup. So
you can learn a lot.
Yeah.
That could really help you do your makeup better.
And you know, it's not just for girls, guys. This will also be helpful if you do stage makeup at all. This will help you also.
Most definitely.
Also, guys, I just wanted to say too, I know we didn't do Twitter, and I know we didn't do some other social medias, and I'm really sorry about that, but we just kind of wanted to do this other series instead. But if you are interested in improving your Twitter, if you are interested in doing more on YouTube or blogging, you need more help, please comment down below, message us, drop us a message on Zainey Laney on Facebook or on our Instagram, and just let us know how you want to help. We're very willing to come to you, message you privately, critique your stuff if you need be, but quite honestly, like, this is a journey for us too, so we're not really sure where we're going on all of this. We've just been climbing very slow, and we feel like in order to provide you with good information that's really going to help you, we kind of need to take a step back and figure out what exactly we can do, and then once we see growth, we can come back to you and say this is kind of what we do. But
so this series may not be going away entirely forever,
right? But
for now we're going to stop for a little while, focus on some other things, and see if we can find some content that you'll be a little bit more interested in, and that you can grow from yourself.
The most important thing here, though, is to try to build a community with you guys to really help you. And honestly, if we have people that don't really want to be helped or don't really want to involve themselves in like a mutual conversation about how to best be helped, we just want to go back to kind of doing entertainment of what we're doing. So honestly, you guys, you need to comment down below, and you need to tell us, what do you want? What is it that you want us to bring to you in the future? Okay, so let's start in on our last Instagram, and I love Instagram. It's like my favorite social media platform ever. Yep.
So, in keeping with what we just said, that we're about trying to get content out that you really want, that is what Instagram reach is all about. Making sure that your content is geared specifically for your viewers, and making it easier for those viewers to view and interact with what you're putting out. And there's a few ways we can do that. Before we actually get into what your content actually is, and when we can talk about how you put up your content. If you use what's called Carousel Images. Now, what Carousel Image is...
I can pull it up.
Yeah, she can pull it up right here. It's a series of images, almost like a small gallery, that all show up as a single post. This originally started as a Facebook ads system, but they brought it over to Instagram, and it's really helpful.
So this is basically a carousel. So you have one picture here, and you're able to swipe to a different picture and a different picture. I know we're kind of fuzzy, so you can't really see what it is, and the light is in the way, but that's basically what it is. It's one of those. So the way that you use this, I'm just going to tell you really quick, is when you take the picture, there's an icon. So We're gonna get into this a little bit more later, but you're gonna take all the pictures that you want and you're gonna hit the multiple pictures button, and then it's gonna let you select all the pictures in the order that you want. So it'll start numbering them 1 through 10, I think is the most you can have. And then that way you're gonna go in and then you can apply your filter to each one, make the edits to each one that you want. And then you are going to post it like normal. And then people can swipe it in. Sometimes it will have a little icon at the bottom that will say swipe right, but in my pictures I always put swipe right the very first thing so that people know there's more pictures in there.
Yeah.
A word of caution though, if you're going to use landscape on the ones that are for carousel, you want to make sure that there's not a lot on the sides because you can't really use the long view of Instagram when you do this. When you do a carousel pictures. You can only do it when you're doing like the collage. If that makes sense.
Also, make sure you are using videos. Now, the reason why we were talking about the carousels and the videos is because they're primarily used for storytelling. And as we learned from watching the OJ trial documentary very recently,
Oh yeah,
people respond more to stories than they do to just plain information.
we actually didn't watch a documentary. We watched the American Crime Story TV show. OJ, it was on Netflix, so we decided to watch it since I vividly remember this trial, right? Because I'm that old. But it's very true. People are more about stories. So also, if you follow us on Instagram, you will see that we do choose to use videos to introduce when we have new YouTube videos coming up, because we feel like it is a lot more expressive to you guys to be able to know what we're going to talk about than just having like an alternative thumbnail that we are basically posting on Instagram. It's a little different.
Yes, this also gives you a little bit more of an opportunity to present some more personality in what you're doing. Just a single static image, not all the time.
Right.
Also, consider using Instagram stories. Now, a lot of people are like, well, that's just basically Snapchat, but there's a difference in how it's put forward that makes it very important.
Which we talked about in our previous video about a little bit about Instagram stories.
Yes. Now, in this case, Instagram stories kind of circumvents a lot of our issues in reach with a lot of the other posts because it always shows up at someone's at the very top in those little icons, as opposed to showing up in their normal feed. So it's going to be bumped right up to the top where they can see it. And videos are best for Instagram stories. So try and be candid because this is where you're showing off your personality. So have you worked with Instagram stories at all? This is a business profiles sort of thing only to be working with at this point.
I have, just not a lot.
Have you had any particular insight into using it that they might be needing to know?
Not a whole bunch. I think what you are saying is basically it. Since I haven't used it a whole lot, I can't give you a lot of tips on that.
Okay. The last bit of general how to post that you need to know is when to post your pictures. Now, the general guidelines on that is you want to post between 8 and 9 a.m., 2 a.m., wow, that's really early, and 5 p.m. You really want to focus on Mondays and Thursdays. Those tend to be the times when a lot of people will show up. However, we're going to levy that with our previous video where we talked about knowing your audience. Exactly. See, this is one of the reasons why you want to actually post differently based off of your target audience.
Let me give you a really example. I just pulled up my business insights on my Instagram, which you'll see right here. And basically, it tells me on a daily basis when my followers watch my stuff. To me, the highest times are right about 1 p.m., 7 p.m., 9 p.m., and it looks like 11 p.m. Those are my highest times. Now, we're on the East Coast, so you gotta also think about the fact that if you have West Coast followers, for them it's 3 hours ahead of time. So if I have a 9 p.m. high point, that probably means that people on the West Coast are looking at it at 6 p.m. around dinner time, and the people on the East Coast are looking at it at 9 p.m. before they go to bed. So you kind of have to think about that also. But on your Instagram, it will tell you, like once you start doing it, it will tell you what is the best. For me, the best days are Tuesdays and Saturdays, not Mondays and Thursdays, like it says in other things. So I'm just telling you that just because we're saying this doesn't mean that's the Bible. You need to just
Yes.
see what works for you and see where you get the most engagement.
And you want to make sure that you post either just before or just after those times. That way, either you'll catch them just as they're coming on, or after they've already gone through all of their other feed, then you show up and you bump right up to the top.
Exactly.
So that's how you're going to make your posts. Now we're getting to the nitty-gritty. Photos. How to take them.
Yes.
How do you take your Instagram photos?
Well, now I take them in this room. I make sure that all of my lighting is there. I got the natural lighting and I got the studio lighting. Sometimes I use my Diva lamp as well, but sometimes it casts a weird like circle, so I try not to. I also have down here, which we forgot to turn on, we have a light that shines up. So what I will do is I have a white table, I got it from IKEA and it's small and we use it for filming. I'll push it all the way up to this white backdrop and I will take pictures on top of it. So because it's white, there's like lots of light bouncing around all over the place. I'm taking it sideways like this. I am using interesting creative backgrounds. Like I think you guys might have seen, I had like a placemat I bought at Hobby Lobby for like $2, and I put stuff on top of there just to kind of make it a little more interesting. That's kind of how I do it. If you don't have any studio lamps, you don't have anything white, who the freak cares? Like honestly, use some natural lighting. Use some wood background, just something that's really interesting that doesn't like conflict with the textures of what it is you're taking a picture of.
And she does pretty much everything that's on my list here. First, you need to plan your photos out. Don't just go, okay, well, I need to make a photo, poof, do a photo. Instead, plan out when you're doing it, where you're making it, and its environment. There are two times that filmmakers and photographers will always rant about: the golden hour and the blue hour. These are the time right at sunset and then right at sunrise. And these times are when light is just coming in just right to hit everything perfectly. All photos taken during that time, unless they're taken really badly, will come out great. She says she holds her phone horizontally, and that's for a lot of reasons. One, phones typically are just better, like you'll see more picture if you do it horizontally, but also you can edit it more. It gives you more room to edit when you're holding it horizontally. You don't actually want to take these photos inside the Instagram app. I know that sounds a little weird, but the Instagram photo in the app is not always the best at taking the picture and processing the picture.
I mean, if you have an Apple phone, I'm not exactly sure what you can use, but being an Android person, I will tell you, I use the Google Camera app to edit my photos, and then if I want to put words or like weird things on it, I use an app called Phonto. It's Phonto, Phonto maybe. But I use that to put words on it if I need to, and then the only things that I do inside the Instagram app is make a collage or add a filter or something like that. I don't do any editing inside the Instagram app at all.
That's pretty much how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
That's going to give you the best photo processing that you can get. Then you take it in and you use filters. Now you want to make sure you're always using the same kind of filters, you're using the same environment, so that when people look at your pictures, they're like, oh, I already know who that is. They don't need to read because they just know.
Yeah, just by your branding, like how you take the picture. Now for me, I don't quite take it in the same environment all the time. If it's something that's like a brand or a product review, it will get taken here. But if you're looking at like my 10-minute makeup, which I do almost every weekday morning, you will see the palette and you will see a picture of my face. And my background is very dark because I have to do it in my living room in the morning. I don't have studio lighting in there. So what I use, which is really silly, you guys, and this will just tell you like how crafty you can be to make it look okay. I have a Diva ring for my phone, which I don't actually use on my phone. And then I have a lighted makeup mirror. I think the brand is called Kivange. And it's like 20 bucks. And it's an LED mirror. It has a little LED lights. And like you turn it on and you like make it like brighter. So what I do is when I take the picture of the palette, I take the mirror and I point it towards the palette and like kind of adjust it so that it's not like in the mirror, and then I have the selfie light in my other hand, and then I kind of place it where I want it, and then I take the picture. And then when I take a picture of me, I set up the mirror here, so I have light here, and then I have the selfie ring in my other hand, and then I take the phone in between it and I take a picture. So the light is coming here, but there's so much light that my background is dark. So that's why it's not gonna look the same on mine. Huh, I just gave away all my secrets, guys.
And you can learn from that. That's pretty much all you really need. I mean, you're trying to, when you have the dark background, it makes the foreground pop out more. Exactly. So that's really what you're looking at anyway. The last bit of photo advice, avoid dark black and white photo filters, as well as filters that increase image saturation. That's making the colors more intense. People don't tend to interact with those. For some reason it's kind of a turnoff, or it's just that they feel like they've seen it all just by looking at it. I don't exactly know why that is. Yeah. It seems kind of counterintuitive. It's kind of like when you're doing makeup swatches and you make it black and white. What's the point of that? There is some black and white photography that is gorgeous, and I'm not gonna lie, but if you are a content creator online, black and white photos are kind of outside the realm of what you should be doing, because it's not showing off the best of what the brand is, or whatever. Yeah. So once you've gotten all your photos in, you just gotta put some captions on there. And some of the best stuff to do there is just, again, tell a story or ask for interaction, not just by telling them with a call to action, but ask them a question about it. What do you think of this look? What have you used this at all? Stuff like that. Ask their opinions, because then they can start getting starting a conversation, and that's just going to build you up. So we kind of covered what you should be saying. The biggest portion of getting a good reach on Instagram is also your hashtags. Some people say, oh, they don't matter. Some people say, oh, they're everything. It's kind of in between, actually. You want to make sure you're using the right hashtags and you don't overdo it. You don't want to have too many, because then people are just like, wow, you're just spamming it. The best way to deal with those hashtags, actually, is if you are using them at all, put like 5 lines of breaks between your text and your hashtags. That way your hashtags will show up in searches, but when people are going through and looking at your pictures, they don't just see a bunch of hashtags. When I do it a little bit differently. Instead of doing line breaks, I will actually put like 10 dots. And then I will put my, what I call emoticons that I have chosen to be me, which is a penguin and a unicorn. So that if you ever do a search for a penguin and a unicorn, mine will come up, by the way. It's really interesting. And all of my hashtags go below that line, except like if it's something I'm talking about. So if I do 10-minute makeup, that'll be the first hashtag, but then all of my bulk of my hashtags will be underneath that line of dots. Some people I've seen do dot, 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 dot for like 10 lines down, and then they put it in there. Either way, I think it's acceptable. You really only need about 5 lines of difference. She is doing it very well in that you do want to have your hashtags that are part of the sentence, like it's actually part of your content in what you're saying in the caption. Right. Put those hashtags in there instead. And I didn't really think about this when I was doing my research, but yes, doing custom emoticon keywords in a way is a very good way of making it easy for people to find your stuff. Even stuff that other people might be interacting with. With your stuff. Exactly. You're talking about hashtags, and I don't know if we talked about it last time, but I use an app called Tag-O-Matic, and basically you just put in like a searchable word, and not only can you designate, I want these hashtags always to show up on my post, so when you open the app, they'll always be checkmarked, and then you can do a search for a word, and then it will come up with the most popular search results for that term, and then you can click select all the ones that you want, and then you click share, and it immediately opens it directly into Instagram. So if you're doing your picture, you can edit your picture, write your caption, get all the way down to where you're gonna put your hashtag, close out of Instagram, open Tag-O-Matic, get your tags, and then it will directly open back into your post that you're in the middle of writing, copy paste, boom. That's pretty user-friendly. I use one that's called Let's Tag, but it's not nearly as user-friendly, and I might be switching over. Tag-O-Matic is amazing. Especially because I am, based off of the things that I've been learning through making this series, I'm gonna try and get back into Instagram. Yeah. I've fallen off for quite some time, and I feel like I can actually use it very well for my marketing. I feel like if you're gonna have a bullet journal, that can help you a lot, remind you to do your Instagram, because I schedule mine out for the week, and I just take all my pictures on Sunday, and then
schedule my Instagram posts out for the week in my bullet journal.
And in fact, one thing that I really want to do with Instagram is involved with my very last point that I'm going to be making in this series. Involve your audience with your channel using hashtag contests. So what we're talking about with that is you say, okay, everybody, make posts or comments on posts using this hashtag, and you're going to be entered into a contest. And that the winner of that contest will win something in particular. They might just get mentioned more on your channel, like you reshare some of their photos or something like that. In the case of what I'm going to be doing, I'm actually going to be using people's suggestions to make artwork, which can then be put out for sale. So if you join us on my Instagram, and you'll be subscribing both to me and to Zainey Laney on Instagram, you put out hashtag. It's hashtag Hazard Takes Wednesday, and you put that out on Tuesday. I will be using that to get you and your content on a shirt the next day.
Nice. You want to follow him down below. His information, mine and Chris's, are all down below in the description box, so you can follow us if you missed it at the beginning of this video.
How is it you would use hashtag contests, or would you use it at all?
I don't know. I don't know if that's something that I've really had a lot of thought about, so I don't know.
I actually found that she advised me to use the Glean.io web app to do some of these things, and just find a good outside program to help you run this, because Instagram has so many people, it will get overwhelming really fast.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to put the link like in your bio for them to click into it?
And actually, when I post up what the finished work looks like, it's going to be done in a carousel image with the finished picture being the very first one, and it will tell you the link. It'll say the link where it is to get it on Redbubble.
Okay.
Yes. So that kind of covers everything. Any more comments that you have about how to best get good content on Instagram?
I don't know. I'm still working at it. Honestly, like, I don't really see that my viewership is going up all that much, except when I have like a giveaway, or if I have like, for some reason, Birchbox. My Birchbox posts happen to be really popular, but other than that, I'm still struggling a lot with what I need to do. So again, it's a journey.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, thank you for spending time with us today. Join us on Wednesdays, Fridays,
and sometimes Sundays.
Till then,
stay zany.